leading by His Holiness Sacinandana Swami Maharaj. Want to recap what we have done so far. In the introduction, we saw the life of Haridas Thakur that has been mentioned. And in the very first chapter called Nama Tattva, what is the holy name? And we saw Srila Prabhupada's message on what is this holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That Prabhupada says here, this transcendental process, it is a transcendental process for reviving this original pure consciousness. By chanting this transcendental vibration, we can cleanse away all misgivings within our hearts. The basic principle of all such misgiving is a false consciousness that I am the Lord of all I survey. And that has been explained in the first part. And the second one is the glories of the holy name, where it is said, chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of God. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor one's having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the Vedic verdict, verdict of all the Vedas. And in the same session, we see that Narada Muni asked Brahma, how can the fallen soul be liberated in Kali Yuga? And Brahma said, this is the real secret of all Vedic scriptures, which helps you to cross the miserable ocean of Kali Yuga simply through the chanting of the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Men are purified in this age of Kali. And Narada Muni asked, which name is it? Brahma answered, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we went on to the meaning of the holy name, which our acharyas say. The meaning of the Hare Krishna mantra is, Oh my Lord, Oh my Lord's energy. So when you address somebody, you want to ask for something. So if they reply yes, why are you calling? Then we are calling. Please engage me in your service. This is the prayer of why we are all chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And in the fourth part of this chapter, there is a seven-step thing is being said by chanting. What happens? Cheto Dharpana Marjanam, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam, Shreyas Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jeevanam, Anandha Budhi Vartanam, Pratipadam, Purnamrisha Swadhanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Paramvajayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtan. What happens is number one, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam, our heart get purified. That is, our mind get purified by chanting. That's where the problem is. Second, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. Chanting extinguishes the suffering of the blazing fire. Number three, Shreyas Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. The chanting, what happens is the like a moonlight of the holy name reveals all auspicious things to the serious chanter. Number four, Vidya Vadhujivanam. Chanting is the life and soul of all knowledge. Therefore, chanting invokes transcendental knowledge in the heart and naturally relieves one from the unhealthy grip of material attachment. Number five, Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam. Chanting arises the auspicious ocean of transcendental life. Number six, Pratipadam Purna Amrita Aswadanam. On every step, chanting conveys perfect, sublime nectar. Lastly, number seven, Sarva Atma Snapanam. The desire to enjoy material life in its utmost extent is like spreading fever or fire, which affects the conditioned soul and tends them to commit sinful activities, will be finished. That is, their material life will come to an end. And in the first section, we see the holy name as the Yuga Dharma. In Satya Yuga, meditation was a process. In the Treta Yuga, performing austerities was a process. In Dwapara Yuga, worshipping the deities was the process. And in the current Kali Yuga, chanting the holy name of the Lord is the process to attain the Lord. That finished the first chapter. And we will move on to the second chapter called Nama Kirtana, chanting the holy name. And in there, we saw three ways of chanting. First is Manasa, quiet chanting within one's mind. Upamsa, silent chanting, which is soft chanting, like how we are all doing now, using the Japamala. And Vachika, loud chanting, which everybody can hear. That is the Kirtan. Then, in the next section of this chapter, we learned about Krishna's nature and his energy. What are Krishna's energy? Especially the important three aspects of Chit Vaibhava, that is Krishna's spiritual potency, includes a spiritual word, includes Krishna's holy name and transcendental form. And then the second one is Achit Vaibhava, where a non-spiritual manifestation consisting of material universe, this Prakriti. And lastly, Jiva Vaibhava. These are the living entities who are spiritual by qualities. We learned about that also. And then we learned about Krishna's 64 qualities. And also we learned about Krishna's principal names and secondary names. Mukhyam, like Mukhya Nama, like Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Rama, Gopinatha, and Gaunya Nama. Gaunya means a characterized Nama in relation with the material world. Ishvara, for example, Ishvara, Paramatma, and so forth. And in the third section of this second chapter, we learned about Shuddha Nama, Nama Bhasa, Nama Aparadha. There are three stages of chanting. Shuddha Nama, the pure stage of chanting, where Krishna himself reveals within one's heart. Nama Bhasa is a clearing stage, where one is trying to avoid offenses to the holy name. Anama Aparadha is chanting with offenses, all the offenses that one can think of. And we went into the third chapter called Nama Aparadha, chanting on the offensive stage. In that, there are 10 offenses. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. To know how important it is that to be very careful to not commit offenses to the devotees. In that the question came, who are the devotees? Anyone who is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is considered to be devotees. But among them, there are three Vaishnavas. One is Uttama Adhikari, second is Madhyama Adhikari, and third is Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikaris are the one who doesn't show much interest in the Vaishnava Seva. They only focus on the deity, and that's it. And Madhyama Adhikari, it plays an important role for preaching and connecting the conditioned soul to the Supreme Lord. They understand that philosophy. Whereas Uttama Adhikari is pure by all means, and they see Krishna everywhere. And we learned in this how important it is to have the association of the devotees and how one can, what are the causes of Vaishnava aparadha? Like we should avoid if we are committing aparadha, that means we are in the asat sangha. Asat sangha means we are not in a good association. We may be associating with Mayavadis. We may be associating with the hypocrites. We may be associating with atheists and so forth. Therefore, then we went into the three kinds of Vaishnava aparadha, where we learned that offenses in mind, offenses in word, offenses through activities. In Kali Yuga, the mind offense is excused. Then we saw how can Vaishnava aparadha be rectified. The rectification of Vaishnava aparadha is seeking, repenting for the mistake that we have done, and if possible, and if the person who we offended is still around, then we can seek forgiveness from that person. That is the first offense. Second offense, to consider the names of demigods like like Shiva and Brahma, to be equal to or independent of name of Lord Vishnu. So in this, we understood that how Krishna name should not be considered to one among the other devatas name. We saw the difference in qualities between the Jiva Tattva and Shiva Tattva and Brahma and Narayana and Krishna. And how do we rectify this mistake? The second offense should be rectified by repenting sincerely, taking shelter of Vishnu, and never committing such offenses on Krishna. The third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. First of all, we need to know the characteristic of a bona fide spiritual master. And then we learned about the three kinds of spiritual master. And then also we learned about how one should respect a spiritual master all the time. And about the Siksha Guru and Diksha Gurus also we learned. And also we learned about initiation, how important it is to get initiated, to receive the knowledge of the holy name. And how and why does the third upper offense appear? And that also we think we know, because we start equating Guru as one among us, then we start committing offenses to the devotees or to the Guru. And how can the third offense be rectified? Again, repentance is the only medicine for anything that we do. And we follow the feet of Guru and seek for forgiveness. And in the fourth offense, that is what um, we are studying right now. We saw there are four defects, fourth offenses to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature and pursuance of Vedic version. So Shruti, Shastra, Nindanam. In this, we saw we all have four defects: Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karana, Partava, where we have imperfect senses. I'm going in the reverse order. Imperfect senses, a propensity of cheating others and getting cheated. And we have in illusion, we start thinking things to be different. And then we have a propensity of committing errors. And we learned about the Vedas, the teachings of the Vedas. The essence of teachings of Veda is all for us to develop bhakti towards Krishna. And then there are nine processes: Shravanam Kirtanam Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Satyam, Atma Nivedanam. These are the nine processes been given in the process of bhakti. And ultimately, our position is to develop the bhakti and prema towards Krishna. And these are the message that has been given in the Vedas. We have covered so far from this book is a quick summary of what we have covered so far. Now, with that said, I'll just read one paragraph as a continuation. Why is it an offense against the holy name to blaspheme the Vedas? Answer. The question may be arised how this offense is related to the chanting of the holy name. The answer is that the Vedas emphasize the chanting of the Lord's name as a means to attain the supreme personality of Godhead. Even the greatest personalities in the spiritual sky are always engaged in chanting the holy name. Since the Vedas consider the chanting of the holy name as the most important process, it is a great offense to criticize Vedas, because then the holy name is criticized as well. So that is the answer why we should not be offending the Vedas, commit offense to the Vedas, because the essence of Vedas is for us to understand the chanting is what it means for us to attain Krishna. So if you are offending Vedas, then we are offending the holy name that has been recommended by the Vedas. Therefore, we should not be thinking Veda should be it's an ordinary literature or a man-made literature and so forth. So we'll continue studying